Okay, so this video is about time zones, and the first stop point is to define what Greenwich Mean Time is, what the International Dateline is, and Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC. First of all, Greenwich Mean Time is where all other time zones are referenced from. So here it is here. The prime meridian, as you know, runs through Greenwich in London, and then all the other time zones around the world are based from that. So either in front of, so these ones down here, these numbers down the bottom here show us hours in front of Greenwich Mean Time, and these ones show us the hours behind mean time. So anywhere to the east of the prime meridian is in front of Greenwich Mean Time, and anywhere to the west of the prime meridian is behind Greenwich Mean Time. Okay. As we mentioned earlier in class, that the international dateline over here, roughly 180 degrees east or west of the prime meridian, so on the other side of the world, has this zigzaggy line going through the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Zigzaggy, as we mentioned, because there's some countries that would be, cut off, and there'd be different day on either side of it. So that's why it's this weird sort of zigzag line rather than just a straight number at 180 degrees east or west. So what are we talking about with coordinated universal time? Well, roughly Greenwich Mean Time and UTC, Universal Coordinated Time, same thing. Okay, so we talk about hours in front or hours behind. There are some sort of weird ones, like for example, this 9.5 here is for the Central Australian time. So South Australia and Northern Territory go off that 9.5 rather than just going off the 9 that it would be if you were to go with the standard. Okay. There are a number of countries that just have that don't follow those. So, for example, China technically should have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 time zones, possibly even 5 time zones if it was to do it properly. But they just have the 1 time zone to just make things easier for that country. Same with India. India could technically have 2, whereas USA has 4 main time zones. So Eastern time, and they've got I think that's Central time. I think they call this one Mountain time, and then that's Western time. And obviously in Australia, we've got our Western Standard Time for Australia, Central Standard Time, and then Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So next thing is understanding the link between longitude and time. Okay, so essentially, these are the longitudes up here. So many degrees, 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees east of the prime meridian, and these are the ones west of the prime meridian. And that kind of links in with this next bit, which is saying determine the number of degrees of longitude for a time difference of 1 hour. Well, if there are 24 hours in a day, and there's 360 degrees of longitude, essentially, 180 degrees to the west, 180 degrees to the east, 360 degrees in total, that means that 1 hour should be the same as 15 degrees. And you can kind of see that up here. Or the way the textbook does it as well is to say, well, each degree, well, if there's 24 hours in total, that's going to be this weird 0.06 recurring hours for every degree, which is roughly 4 minutes. Okay. So that's our rough start to sort of working out, those things.